Hey yo, top percenters, Reza Joey here with another episode of Future Sight. Today covering Klingklang Cobalion. Klingklang Cobalion is a deck that's found its way to us the release of Plasma Storm, a set that effectively brought half a deck into the format. With that, let's cover the Pokemon in the deck and how they work together. First we'll start with the support line for the deck, namely Klingklang itself. The line tends to be run as 4 Kling, between 0 and 2 Klang, and a 3-1 split between the Plasma Storm Klingklang and the Black and White Klingklang. The Plasma Storm Klingklang is basically the heart and soul of the deck, with its ability Plasma Steel effectively stopping half the format in its tracks. For those who aren't already familiar with the Plasma Storm Klingklang, its ability, Plasma Steel, stops any of your Steel Pokemon from taking damage from Pokemon X, meaning that Darkrai X, Keldeo X, and even heavy hitters like Rayquaza X can't hit any of your Steel-type Pokemon. Moving on to the Black and White Klingklang, he's here solely for one reason, his ability, Shift Gears, an ability that simply allows you to move Steel energy around your board. This ability is integral to being able to consistently attack and keep your Pokemon alive. If your opponent gets an opportune capture and brings out a heavy retreat Pokemon from your bench, it can be a major relief being able to shift gears, the energy across to the new active, and be able to resume attacking without having to pray for a switch. Another huge benefit of being able to move energy around is the fact that you can now afford to play Max Potion and not have to worry about paying a cost for it. You can easily shift the energy across to a handy bench sitter, Max Potion your active, and then shift the energy back, effectively telling your opponent that their last turn was a fruitless endeavor.
Just don't say it out loud.
With the support covered, let's take a look at the deck's key attackers, both funnily enough named Cobalion. The first is the Cobalion from Noble Victories, a basic steel with 120 hit points and 2 attacks. The first attack, Energy Press, does 20 damage plus 20 more damage for each energy attached to the defending Pokemon, for a cost of 1 steel and a colorless energy. The second attack, Iron Breaker, delivers 80 damage plus stops a defending Pokemon from attacking next turn. Now, out of the 2 Cobalions in this deck, I personally prefer this one. His ability to block attacks can add crucial pressure to your opponent, forcing them to spend resources to retreat their active Pokemon and then attempt to get back into the active position. And even in circumstances where they can remove Iron Breaker's effect and attack again, the key counters to this deck tend to one-shot both Cobalions. With that in mind, I'd much rather hand up 1 prize than the 2 they claim for the next Cobalion. And that Cobalion is Cobalion X. Another addition from Plasma Storm, sporting an impressive 180 hit points, which tends to be an average for an X Pokemon, and carrying 2 attacks, the first of which is Righteous Edge, which does 30 damage and discards a special energy attached to the defending Pokemon for single steel energy. And the second attack, Steel Bullet, which does 100 damage while ignoring weakness, resistance, and all other effects on a defending Pokemon, for 2 steel and a colorless, meaning that he's pretty much guaranteed to 2-shot any X that stands in front of him. Now, this is a Cobalion that most players will choose to play in the active position, mostly because that extra 60 hit points can help him survive more attacks, but also because his Steel Bullet attack is guaranteed to deliver 100 damage no matter what. Which makes planning out your turns easier, as you only have to manage your own board, and your opponent's pesky Eviolite doesn't have any effect on damage calculation. As mentioned before, I still prefer the Noble Victories Cobalion, but the extra hit points and guaranteed 2-shot as opposed to a 3-shot definitely earns Cobalion X a prominent place in this deck. And it's easily understandable why players tend to run 3 Cobalion X compared to 2 Cobalion from Noble Victories. It being said that I prefer Cobalion from Noble Victories, I could easily see myself saying Steel Bullet more often than I'd be saying Iron Breaker. But preferring a certain card isn't the same as relying on it. Needless to say, the deck is pretty effective and has been finding its way to the top tables, but what about the deck's weaknesses? I wouldn't be doing my job if I just said, "This deck's awesome," and left it at that. This deck does have some pretty big drawbacks that a smart opponent will be able to take advantage of. The first drawback here is that there are counter cards that can make quick work out of both your Cobalions. The most notable being the Victini from Noble Victories, better known as Bench Teenie. A sudden Victini can deliver 200 damage to a Cobalion, meaning either Cobalion will be taken down with just 1 attack. And This leads us to the second drawback. The fact that it has no form of energy acceleration, meaning that when you lose a Cobalion, you're most likely going to lose 3 turns of energy attachment. So unless you're 6 turns in and not missed an attachment, most likely losing Cobalion means that you've lost your only attacker for the moment, and without any means of retaliating immediately, your opponent can build on the momentum and possibly even remove the rest of the energy from the board. With that said, Klingklang Cobalion has already left an impression on the format, and even if effective counter decks do find their way into circulation, Klingklang Cobalion will still hold a place in the format for at least the next few months. With all of that covered, I've been Joey, you guys are the top percent, and I shall see you next time.